So you're still on the AM show. Of course, our show is proudly brought to you by Mix It Coffee. And have you had your mug of Mix It today? Well, if not, you better do so. That's what keeps us company here on the show. But we want to open the phone lines. We're going to still be getting some professional answers with regards to that 17.5% VAT. That's been put on some banking services. We want to get a bit of clarification on it. In the meantime, though, we're activating our phone lines. You can call us if you have any experiences so far. Have you gone to any of the banks to do any business that you've been charged fees on? You might want to share with us, or any other issue for that matter that we've been discussing today that you want to share your opinion on. Phone lines activated now. Give us a call, 0302 211-69102. But of course, we'll also be getting some professional clarification on that 17.5% VAT that's been put on some banking services. So join us with your phone calls. You went to the bank. Was it yesterday?
Yeah, I went to the bank.
Okay, and then you had to pay for, was it ATM that you had to pay for?
After I talked to a friend of mine at the bank, and he said it was for banking services. They were just normal banking charges at the end of the month.
Oh, okay, so this was not because of the particular transaction that you had got to do.
Because
okay.
I think all over Ghana they haven't started. They said they would have started the 1st of May. Yes.
1st of May.
Yes, that's what the message was all about.
And already we don't know we don't know what the exactly.
I think that the banks will start charging, but now the clarification has come about what type of services they will be offering, and then what the charges will be. So I feel that perhaps the clarification by the government officials have come in handy, and now people are in a better position to really make an assessment or try to do a comparative analysis of what really the situation is. If they should, from beginning 1st May 2014, go to access some type of services at the banks and what the charges will be, what they are expected to pay. In the meantime, though, we're being told that this one already is in law, and we all know that there's a law, of course, governing the.
So why hasn't it been enforced all this while?
Enforcement. Well, there's always a time for enforcement, as it is.
So now is the time.
Well, you know, the difficulty for many of these things is that many of them are also very political issues, and once they are introduced, then they become political issues that are also discussed not only by the politicians but also by the media, and that also creates some level of controversy surrounding their implementation as far as we're concerned.
You know, I've just been thinking, has this also got to do with dollarization?
Not necessarily, no. But you know, all this is coming in the midst of the difficulties that the country has experienced in the 1st quarter of the year, particularly following the depreciation of the cedi. We're being told that between 16.5 to about 18% just in the 1st quarter, and as a result of that, some of these difficulties have been followed by the need to implement this at this time. And you know, the business people will complain about it, because those who will feel it most are those who undertake the bigger transactions, and for some level of deductions to be undertaken within the transaction period, that's a real concern for them.
All right, but our lines are activated now. If you have any concerns you want to share with us, you're welcome to do so. Number is 030221169102. So you can give us a quick call while we still work on, you know, getting some professional answers, because there's very basic things that, you know, we want to ask and, you know, find some good answers too, so that it will be clear. Because I was almost suggesting today that I want to be paid in an envelope at the end of the month, because I don't want my money to go to the bank and then.
I really feel that is very much far-fetched. But you know, for every controversy that arises, there's always the need to clarify, and once the clarification comes, people get to have what really the subject matter is, and I guess their own thoughts on the subject. There's no difficulty at all.
All right, so join join us via phone 030221169102. Please don't keep your monies in your freezers. Or sometime back people would dig a hole. I heard stories like that and put their monies in there.
No, I don't think so.
All right, so
I don't think so. You know, I told you about the subjects that was raised by that as far as he's concerned, many of the citizens of those Gulf states and the Middle Eastern countries, they keep their monies in their homes. Well, we have John Gachi on the line. He's also a financial analyst. He's
a lecturer at the University of Cape Coast
yes, business
School of Business.
Okay. So a very good morning to you, sir. Now, particularly this very controversy, what does it mean to end users, that is the customers of the various banks, so to speak?
Well, I think customers have the protection that any... Hello?
Yes, please. Continue, sir.
Customers have the perception that any time there is any cost element imposed on those who provide services for them, they are likely going to transfer it to them. So the point is that if the explanation is not very clear, for the customer to be aware that there is no cost element that he or she is going to bear, that creates unnecessary panic, and that can affect a lot of relationship between customers, the bank, and the system in general. So I think that the proper understanding should be brought to bear for the customer to be aware that this thing is not going to affect its activities as explained earlier on.
Now, a lot of customers of banks, they got messages or indications that from a particular date, certain charges would be perhaps issued on certain transactions they undertake with them. Was it a miscommunication on the part of the banks?
Well, when you listen to the explanation by the Ministry of Finance and the communication that was put into the public domain by a particular bank, it is very clear that there was a miscommunication. And I think the only way that this thing can be arrested is to ensure that when you listen to Ministry of Finance, they are claiming that they have series of discussion with the Bankers Association. They are aware of the elements that will be affected by the 17.5% VAT. Those things have nothing to do with the core businesses of the bank. That includes deposits, salaries, salary issues, savings. So we need to hear at this point in time, we have heard from Minister of Finance. We also need to hear from Bankers Association. I think that is what the media has not done. And if you are able to call the Bankers Association and they also come and actually indicate clearly that what Minister of Finance is saying is what they have actually discussed, then I think that all this matter will go to rest. But if you do not call that important stakeholder in the entire discussion, then I think that we will not actually build the confidence of customers. They will not be sure as to what is going on. Even the Minister of Finance has given explanation. So I think the next step that you people should do is to call on Bankers Association to come and also state their case as to their understanding of the entire process.
Well, we're making those efforts as well, and of course your suggestion also has been taken in good faith. But in the meantime though, should we rather be having the Bank of Ghana come out to do the clarifications inside of the Ministry of Finance? What does it say about governments?
Well, Bank of Ghana can do the clarification, but the point is there is one aspect of the stakeholders that is represented by Bankers Association. They were on the table. Remember, even though Bank of Ghana can come, but this has fiscal implications. It is the Ministry of Finance who is at the apex of fiscal administration in the country, and it's not Bank of Ghana. So it is not wrong for Ministry of Finance to be at the forefront dealing with this issue. I think the best approach could also be that you bring on board maybe a rep from Ghana Revenue Authority and Bankers Association, because the Bankers Association are representing the banks in the country. So they will speak out what have been agreed upon at the meeting and the timelines that was set up during the discussion. And then you compare that with the explanation that Ghana Revenue Authority will be giving, because ultimately they are going to administer that particular tax. I think if we're able to do this, then a lot of noise in the system will not be the case. So my appeal is that the best approach is that bring to a discussion table Ghana Revenue Authority and Bankers Association. There should not be any reason why the Bankers Association will not detail an officer to come and engage in this discourse, because it's affecting public confidence in the entire system, and we shouldn't hurt our own financial system this way by misinformation.
Because I was just about to ask you this very misinformation. If we were living in a more developed economy, so to speak, we could have, over the last 24 hours, quantified the monetary loss to the banking sector and also to the overall revenue generation of not only the sector but also the state.
That is very true, but I do not think that we should be very harsh on the matter. What is necessary is that the key stakeholder who should speak for customers to understand, and the banking sector in general to be respected in terms of how they are going to apply the VAT is important, because prior to this announcement, certain development have taken place in some banks already. You realize that Ghana Commercial Bank in particular has increased their minimum balance that customers should keep. In some other banks, when you go, if you're not using ATM and you are withdrawing money below a certain threshold, there are some charges that are being introduced. Customers will misinterpret all this, and that it is because they were anticipating the implementation of these rules. That is why they have started putting these things in place. So it is important, and I think that the Ghana Bankers Association has no moral benefit in trying to get out from the explanation. They should, as a matter of service to the nation, detail their officers who are involved in the discussion to come out with their side of the story, so that we all get to know the truth. Because I do not think that the customers are wholly satisfied with the explanation of Minister of Finance, even though I do. But there are some people who would think that, okay, the other partner on the discussion table should also speak to the issue. It will be very clear to all of us. So we shouldn't hurt the confidence in the banking system. It is very, very important. We should manage information very clearly. If people misunderstand that information and they become very callous towards savings, we can even experience bank run in the country where people become disgusted and then they go and withdraw their money in a rush. And we do not want to experience those things in the country.
Thank you very much. John Gachi is a financial analyst, but also a lecturer with the University of Cape Coast Business School, and making his contributions known to the subject of the supposed charging of 17.5% VAT on banking services and the subsequent explanations or clarifications by finance ministers in Ghana that really the charges are on some specific financial transactions, not on just normal banking transactions as they are. Fear and panic.
Yeah. Well, meanwhile, you know, yesterday the Ministry of Finance and the Ghana Revenue Authority also issued a statement. It says the Ministry of Finance, they issued a statement debunking reports suggesting that commercial banks are supposed to charge exactly valued added tax on salaries and savings accounts. But just to read to you the messages that was sent to people's mobile phones by some of the banks. And this one reads, "Dear valued customer, with the coming into force of the new VAT Act 870, banks are required to charge 17.5% VAT on all services rendered for a fee effective May 2014. You know, they charge fees for salaries as well, you know, when they process your salaries. So if you read this text message, then it means that the VAT is on it.
Okay. We have Kasim from Tumu on the line, and many of you already have started calling the phone lines. And Kasim from Tumu. Kasim, what's on your mind?
Good morning, Mr. Roland.
Morning, sir.
Yeah, I think that the banks are actually having a very big problem because many times when issues like this are coming up, they don't always give the education for people to be aware of what is actually going on. I'm telling you, you'll be surprised that some people still are not aware of the minimum balance you can leave in your account, the 50 Ghana cedi.
I don't get you. If you're a member of a bank, you're supposed to know your minimum balance.
That is what I'm saying. I said that some people still are not aware of how it came about. Well, unless you get to the bank, then you find out, and then they will tell you. If you don't go to the bank, later on you go, you won't even understand how it should happen that way until you get to the bank and you are explained to. In fact, when the thing came, a lot of people had surprises because somebody will just transfer money into your account to be given to somebody. You go and they will tell you that you can't take this amount. And so it looks so frustrating. I think that some of this, if they are coming up, my suggestion is that it should run for a number of weeks or even a month before it starts effect. I think that is my suggestion I want to make. It shouldn't just, I'm hearing that this 17.5% will start from maybe possibly this week.
No, the 1st of May. So at least the 2 weeks that you suggested was enough. The point is that it's been met with an uproar. So when end users will resist any policy introduced by any service provider, they will resist and they'll raise concerns as well. But Kasim, thanks for contributing to our discussion this morning, and we're very grateful.
We go to Yendi now. We speak to Hussaini. Good morning to you. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Kasim. Are you with us?
Yes, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Okay, Kasim, we appreciate your phone call. Please share with us what's on your mind.
Oh, okay. Yes, you see, when this major policy like this is going to be introduced, then there is a need to do thorough education. Otherwise, bankers take people for granted. Yes.
Did you receive, Kasim, before you go on, did you receive any of the text messages?
No, I didn't receive text messages. My bank never gave me one. You see, prior to the introduction of this 17.5% banking services, there has been an introduction of some charges in the bank to the personal banker and the withdrawer when you are going to withdraw money to certain thresholds. And that they want to encourage people to use ATM. But when you look at it very critical, the population of Ghana, the greater percentage of it is made up of illiterates who cannot use ATM. And therefore, if you are saying that people shouldn't come to banking halls and withdraw money, you want them to use ATM, then you are better encouraging people to steal them. Because it's not everybody that can use the ATM. People who cannot read, people who cannot even identify figures, because of that, you provide people to be writing for them to complain before taking money. Now you introduce that money, that particular amount for them to take. That is one aspect of it. The second aspect is that you look at the amount people are being paid. It's not even up to the threshold. That is the 800 Ghana cedis they are talking of. So if I'm paid maybe 400 Ghana cedis, and I can't even I can't use the ATM, and I've come to the banking hall, should I be charged for no fault of mine? No. So the problem is not from the people, it's from the policymakers. And we ought to now tell them point blank that this particular 17.5 they are now saying that it's not going to affect all banking services. We are red alert.
Okay.
And we monitor our bank statements. And we make sure that any charge that is not explanatory enough to us will resist it. That one we want to make it very clear.
Okay, all right, Kasim. We'll have to leave it here. There are other people who also want to contribute. Thank you. But, I like the contribution about, you seem to have concerns with some of the things that the banks are doing, but I like that you shared with us. Thank you. All right.
So,
okay, something I can answer that. We are told that is not part of it.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for your call and your contribution as well.
I want to use this opportunity to tell hello.
Okay, so you are our last caller. Now we have our last caller on the line, Justin from Ho.
But is something gone?
To say something apart from this.
Okay, but you have to do it very quickly.
I want to tell National Identification Authority to come and pay us our money. We registered our people in the Upper East region here for about 8 months. We've not been paid.
Okay,
These
all
are
right.
things that are coming to devalue our money. 150 Ghana cedis is being held there about 8 months.
Okay.
It's too much for us. We are suffering.
Something, they've had you. Thank you.
Okay, so we have Justin from Ho, our last caller.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
I think this program is a very good program that you are doing, and I want to congratulate you people about this program.
Okay, thanks also for calling in through.
This issue about 17.5, I think the message the sister read there, that was the exactly message that Barclays has given to me about 2 weeks ago. Even last week, they gave me that message 3 times in a week. And I was so surprised about the whole message, because some of us, even the salary we are taking, if the 17.5 has been taken from it, we don't know what we are going to do with the rest. Moreover, there is something that when you go to GCB right now, they say your minimum balance in your account, savings account, supposed to be 50 Ghana cedi. It's also costing us. And we don't know how come they brought this issue again. And how they are explaining it now, I think there must be public education. So we are lacking public education in Ghana here. That is one problem we are having now. But as I've understood that it's not going to affect our daily activities, some of our daily activities with the bank, I think is okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you also, Justin. A very concerned customer of the bank there, and particularly concerned about how much he receives a salary and whether it will be taxed. I think the initial fears now are dying down. They are being allayed, and that's why we have all these platforms made available for you to always tune in and get the best education as far as this
But
is concerned.
even after this interaction with all of you, thank you for calling. I realize that there's still a lot more work that we, even have to do. So we'll try and get the real banking people in studio, sometime very soon, so that we can get a lot more explanation to this. And so what, the text messages, we have to disregard them now? Is that what the banks are saying?
Well, I don't know where and what next they'll be doing. Okay, it's about 2 minutes to the hour of 9.
All right, so I guess that will be it then.
Yep.
It's already almost 9?
Yeah.
I didn't realize.
Okay, so please enjoy yourselves, have a good day, and note that you can always stay put on this very channel for the AM show.
All right, the AM show is back on air tomorrow, 6 on the dot. Don't miss it, not for anything. We'll see you tomorrow.
With Missy Coffee.